Hello there, this is Alad, and if you can hear my voice clearly now, it's because I finally have gotten a new microphone. So that is pretty hype, and I also got a Dazzle, so I should be able to upload and stream different kind of gameplay videos. It's gonna be pretty interesting, and I've always wanted to kind of experiment with that, so I'm pretty excited. So this is gonna be a first-person VOD of a Masters TVT I had on the ladder the other day. It's kind of how to deal with that kind of one base push, or that kind of pressure, like how to deal with that mentality of I'm gonna die right now. How do I stop this? Like I'm probably gonna die right now, and you go into panic mode, right? And I think this is a pretty worthy subject to address because there's a lot of Terran players out there, or like any player, like, especially Zerg, because they deal with this all the time, where they're kind of like, alright, something's coming. I know something's coming. How do I deal with it? How do I respond? How do I address it correctly? And it's kind of like that mentality, and then they freak out, panic, and even though they scouted it and they saw it coming, they die, right? And then they go on Team Liquid and they're like, I scouted a 4-gate coming, but it didn't matter, and I died. How do I do this? And like, that's it. And like, they're kind of like annoyed, and then they don't want to play again, and then they quit this game and whatever. So yeah, like, it's kind of one of those videos. So if you see right here, I'm not gonna go over what my opponent does since it is a first-person VOD. I want you guys to see my vision. I want you guys to see what I scout and how do I respond to what I see, and kind of like how I deal with whatever comes. So it's pretty basic TVT. I'm doing a 12 racks 13 refinery. I'm gonna be doing the 1 racks fast expand 1-1. It's one of my favorite builds. I see it on like GSL and all that stuff all the time. Like a lot of top Terran players do that because it's so flexible. For example, if you need Vikings, you can get Vikings. If you need tanks immediately, you will get tanks. And the thing is, with the fast expand, you guaranteed economic advantage, especially if the other person hasn't expanded yet, while still be able to match or have close to the amount that you need to hold off whatever push. So if the opponent's going Banshees, you'll be able to stop that. It's all based on scouting, though. It's kind of a reactive build order, so I really like it in TVT because I feel for the longest time I felt constricted to kind of doing like a one base play for the longest time in TVT until I kind of discovered this build. So if you see right here, right, I scouted with my first SCV. I scouted he fast expanded, right? So he officially, like, in my head, I think any player would be like, alright, Terran's doing a fast expand, I'm safe, right? He can't come at me with anything too crazy, right? There's no, like, nothing too crazy is coming, so it's going to be like, alright, well, does he have his gases? Because gases indicate tech, and if you see right here, he has no gases. So it's probably, if you cross all the things off your list, it's probably going to be a 1 racks expand to 3 racks. Standard Terran fast expand build. So, nothing too crazy. So, right now, like, in my head, I'm like, alright, well, I'm relaxed. I'm just going to expand and get my stuff. So, my scout dies, sadly. And, yeah, just going to be macroing up. Get my Marines out. Feeling pretty good. And I think, and this is kind of like where you would start thinking of, like, your mid-game plan. So, get my Marine out. And I noticed like a lot of a lot of one base plays fall short to like this kind of to this kind of opening because it's just so good. Like it stops siege tank Viking rushes, like because you get a bunker and delay them while you get siege tanks up, and then you get Vikings too because you have the 1-1-1. It's just a overall really solid build. So get the factory down. I don't take second gas right away after I get the factory. I take the gas right after I get starport. That way, because you don't need the gas immediately. It's just kind of like you just needed it for the factory. You want to focus more on like getting your Marines out. Your Marines out are just really important. So because just in case any Marine pressure comes with this build, that's why you got the reactor, just in case they come in, because it counts as like 2 racks pumping out Marines. So you'll be able to kind of deflect most early aggression Marine pushes. So if you look right there, I sent my Marine out. He already had it, so I was like, alright, no big deal, I'll send a Marine out later. That Marine's on low health. So if you noticed, I put my CC at my natural immediately. Why? Because I know he fast expanded. I know that he already has a CC up, right? So I'm like, alright, well, there's nothing crazy coming, and there's nothing I can't hold off that's coming, so put a CC in my natural. You know, normal stuff. So, but if I saw 3 racks and no signs of expansion, that CC would be in my base pumping SCVs to my main mineral line. So if you look right here, just getting a nice little marine force, gonna get siege tanks out, slightly delayed starport, orbital immediately because you know it's always good to have mules. It's the 610 mark, so like I've always said, if you wanna ever see key times of your opponent's tech, if you ever wanna see what your opponent is doing in TVT, scan between 6 to 6:30, maybe a little bit later, and I guarantee you will see everything you want to see to stop your opponent. Or like for example, if your opponent's going Banshee, right, and you scanned right here and you saw factory starport with a tech lab, you know it's Banshee. You know some kind of Banshee play is coming. If you saw over here and he had racks, a Hellion, and a factory, and you know with a tech lab and a starport, but the tech lab was like making something, you know it's Blue Flame Hellion. You know, if you see like etc. Like it goes on and on. So if you ever want to see what your opponent does in TVT, scan between 6 to 6:30, maybe a little bit later. So that's a key scan time I've learned. So yeah, like you know, just getting the normals, get the Marines out. It's a good number of Marines to have too. So I sent that Marine out to the watchtower again. I'm gonna take the watchtower. You know, pretty good stuff. Alright, so right there, I scanned at 6:40, right? If you noticed, I saw 4 racks and no expansion up. So right now, a little alarm should go off in anyone's head and be like, alright, what's going on? Like, you know, what the fuck just happened? Because I definitely saw a command center. So it should be up there. Like, you know, something should be happening unless he's scared, but he can't really support 4 racks off like, you know, one base this early. So what, you know, something crazy is going on. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So if you look right here, I'm like, okay, well, I have the watchtower, so there's nothing to be scared of yet until, like, you know, watchtower's gone. And then if you look, I see a stream of Marines coming in, right? So I'm like, fuck. You know that. All right, so immediately in my head, it has to be like some kind of early Marine all-in kind of bullshit, right? So you're gonna see my response. So if you noticed, instead of getting medevac or anything, I'm gonna get siege mode. As soon as I get 100 gas, gonna get siege mode. I lift up my natural and bring back my SCVs, right? The reasoning behind this is because my army down here, it's not safe, especially against this kind of all-in. You want position advantage. So see with the ramp right here and my Marines up here, my siege tank up here, I get vision advantage and I get position advantage because you know my Marines are up here. They get free shots on anything streaming coming into my base. They get free shots until like someone gets up the ramp and then they can shoot me back. So it's always good to have position advantage. I have a bunker going down, right? I bring my CC over here, and just, you know, I'm going to get siege mode very soon, and just the normal stuff, but this is kind of like how you should react against this kind of like one base, heavy Marine play. There's no reason to, like, you know, not overreact, because the thing is about not overreacting to these kind of things is that if you beat it, you win. He's so far behind that you kind of win. Like, especially like early Marine all-ins, he probably is going to be cutting SCVs. He's probably going to have a lot of Marines, and if he loses all that, he has nothing to fall back on. He has no eco and he has no army to fall back on, so he's going to GG outright. So it's always good to kind of like, you know, like I always told everyone, like, you know, if you know an early Marine all-in's coming, make 18 spines and make as many links as you can, because how much you want to bet, if you hold it off, you just win. Like, instead of taking that chance and be like, oh, I'm going to be economically friendly and only make 2 spines, why would you take that chance if you're guaranteed to win either way? You know what I mean? So, going to be going on. Get siege mode immediately. So, I know something janky's up. So, I got my siege tank out, got the bunker started. I moved all my Marines up, my SCVs up. So I see it coming and kill the first couple of Marines. He's got a whole Marine army over there. So if you look at the position advantage, I get a nice little spread. I can kill a lot. So I killed a good amount. Move back to my bunker, my siege tank. I bring all my SCVs to repair because See, this is so important because if he focuses down the bunker, I could potentially lose it, and GG. Very easy, straightforward win. But the problem is, like, you know, in lower level leagues, would this be as straightforward? No. I'm pretty sure most people would have been psyched out by the fast expand. I mean, I almost was until I scouted and I scanned and I was like, oh shit, it's not a fast expand, it's actually an all-in. So it's very important to kind of keep on your scan timings, keep on scouting, because quick switches like that is very common, especially like the high level leagues. If you're like, I was watching a GSL game, I think it was Pulp versus Alive, and Pulp, he was getting Banshees with Cloak, and Alive scanned him, and then after the scan, Pulp canceled Cloak, got a Banshee, a Viking, Siege Tanks, and Marines, and did a one-base Siege Tank, Banshee, Marine push, you know? Like, it's kind of like subtle things like that. Like, for example, he did the more extreme version. He went fast CC, canceled when my SCV was dead, and then went 6 racks. So, you know, like, if you look over here, he has six racks. So, like, you could tell he's very all in with this, and it was it would have been really nice if I didn't get control of the tower and I didn't scan at 640. If I didn't do those two things, I probably would have lost that, because I would have had all my stuff over here where he would have had equal advantage to kill my stuff and no bunker. The bunker was really important because that's the only way you're going to be able to hold off this many Marines with only 4 Marines and a tank and 2 Marines. You know, that's just how the fuck it is. So, yeah, that is my replay for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.